friends, my name's Antonio and welcome to my workshop. Welcome to Back at the Ranch. Got a little show and tell for you guys today. I was asked recently by a friend of mine in person, hey, what do you use for hogs? Right? He watched my hog video, he saw my Christensen arms that was in that shot, and I apologize for flickering and noises and stuff. So he saw my hog video, my most recent one, where I went to Cascabeles Ranch with Ramon, and his eye kind of gravitated to my setup. And I'm gonna turn my head backwards here. I just noticed I got bad shadows. And he asked me, what do you use for hogs? Well, that Christensen that I had in that video was not what I use for hogs. The only reason I took that one, which I'll show it to you guys later, is I didn't know what the range was going to be. So it turned out that it had happened to be at 100 yards. That's what I had that rifle set at. I take that back. I had that one set at 50, the same way I have this one. But that was a 308, so it'll fly flatter than what I've got in this bag right here. But in a nutshell, this right here is what I use for hogs. At least when I'm back at my ranch. So let's start with the main components. So first of all, optics. If I am walking around, I use this Romeo 7. Not too often that I will pull this out. If I'm going to walk around to spot and stock hogs, I will throw this on because I need quick acquisition. Otherwise, I'll usually use night vision, which I'll show you in a second. But this is a pretty sweet optic. I used it maybe 2 or 3 times. For the most part, I've only shot paper with it. I haven't seen anything up close that has required that. So that's one thing. 2. Where is the zipper? There we go. 2, we've got, this is what I use at night. ThOR 4. So ThOR 4 is a thermal optic by ATN. Excellent. They do have newer versions out, but in a nutshell, you can see in the dark, you see heat signatures with this. I mean, I see mice running across fields. This thing is awesome. So I've got the ThOR 4 and I've got the Romeo. These are the 2 that I'll use for hogs, depending on the scenario. Then we've got my upper. So I do use an Air 15, right? So this is my Air 15 upper. It has a couple of accessories on it. Believe it or not, I pulled this grip off of my Crosman Air 15 BB gun because it was a perfect fit. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. I've got right here, right behind you guys, the Crosman I'm talking about. So this is a BB gun. This is not a BB gun, right? So you'll notice that's almost the same length. This is actually a little bit shorter than my BB gun. So the BB gun is considered an SBR. I'll put that back. If you'd like to learn more about that BB gun, you can click on this link right here, because I did do a tabletop review for that one as well. But in a nutshell, this is basically that right there, but chambered in 300 Blackout. Right, so I've got an 8.5-inch barrel. I do have pop-up sights in the event that I need them, and I know there's a lot of controversy about flipping these forward. Why do I have it forward? Well, when I put this on right here, you'll notice that it would hit, right? So that's the reason it's forward, for those of you wondering, those of you that know what you're looking at. So I do have these Magpul Pop-ups, which are, you know, calibrated. They're great for up close and long range. I do have a sling mount, and I do use just the standard bolt, what do you call this, bolt handle, anyway, and a nickel boron BCG right there, which looks like it needs to be cleaned. So that's one thing about 300 Blackout suppressed is, and I'll put that together in a second. So moving on, I've got my lower. By the way, this is a Pro 2A Tactical. You see their logo right there. It pretty much, with the exception of the sights and the exception of the grip, it comes as is, right? So it's already pre-assembled, everything's in there. It does have an adjustable gas block, which is cool, and of course it is, like all ARs, threaded. So moving on, got my lower, basic PSA 15 multi-caliber. So basically it's this piece right here without the buttstock. I did throw a Magpul buttstock on there to get a little bit better of a cheek weld, just more comfortable. I will say this, so if you have long beards, which I no longer have, and you can click on this video if you hadn't seen that one, if you do have a long beard, when you get a nice cheek weld on there, your beard may tangle up in that little clip right here, or in the where's the other, well, I don't have it on, but when you put the swivel, when you put the sling mount or the sling on there, sometimes it can get caught up in the little swivel right there. So again, PSA 15, nothing fancy. I mean, this is their budget entry level. I did put a little quick release on there, not a quick release, but what do we call these? Comment below if you know. I don't know what this little lever's called. It's an add-on. Basically, it's a bolt release. There you go. So it's a bolt release, so I can release back here instead of having to hit this side. So that was given to me courtesy of Pablo. By the way, none of this is for sale. I am not sponsored, just showing you what I have. This is what I use. So moving on, that's pretty much the firearm right there. But there's one other piece that I use, and that is this right here. You can't have a 300 Blackout without having a suppressor, right? So I use the Nomad L 30mm, which works great for this rifle, and also works great for my 308 because they are both chambered the same. Haven't got the adapter yet to use it on my 223, but I may be getting that soon. My 223 is just more of a fun gun for me, and basically shit hits the fan type of gun. So I've never had to use my 223. Wouldn't use it for hunting because it's not ideal. And of course, last but not least, you're going to have your mag, which I do have multiple mags, but I just brought this one with me right here, which I believe is a 10 or 15 round, I forget. So 300 Blackout, clearly labeled, because 300 Blackout and 223 basically use the same mag. Just you don't want to confuse one for the other. Last thing you want to do is pop a 300 Blackout into a 223 chambered rifle or pistol. You can have some serious problems, and vice versa, same thing, right? So always clearly label your magazines, and yes, that is loaded up. I'm not going to be inserting that in, but you notice that I have a bunch of different rounds here. Let's talk about that real quick. So the great thing about having that 8.5-inch barrel is it's compact, and as a matter of fact, you give me a second, I'm not allowed to assemble this on camera, so, and just like that it's assembled. So yeah, YouTube rules, can't assemble a firearm on camera. Don't understand why, but they just don't allow it. But in a nutshell, that's what we've got right there, right? So nice length, compact. I mean, once you put that suppressor on there, it's pretty much standard size, right? So you're adding another 8 inches almost, so that gives you about a total of 16 inches. But as I was about to say, the issue, by the way, chamber is clear, and I did empty my mag. I decided better safe than sorry, right? So I'll put that in there to give you the full effect, and that's where it is. And it is a 20 round mag. For some reason I was thinking it was 10 or 15, but there you go. So the downside of an 8.5-inch barrel, that's this. Any ammo that you get that is subsonic, which is pretty much the way you want to shoot 300 Blackout if you're going to be hog hunting. You want to be as quiet as possible. Anything that's subsonic is going to struggle with this. It's going to struggle to cycle. I played with the gas plug, I played with the spring, I played with the weight. Nothing would work. So these are 220 grain Sig Sauers, 100 foot, but that's out of a 16-inch barrel, so you're going to get a lot slower out of this. This is a 208 grain. Where are my glasses? Getting old. Can't read anymore. So 208 grain at where's the velocity? 1020 velocity. Those are the Hornady Black, and all of these work great, by the way. Nothing wrong with this ammo. This firearm just doesn't cycle them. Pablo used these in his 300 Blackout, which is a very similar setup, but he has a full 16-inch barrel, and these cycle no issues. 190 grain at 1050 feet per second, and those are your Hornady subsonic sub X, right? So I love the way these perform as far as expansion is concerned. Pablo and I have played with those. Check that out. That's a great hunting round, if you ask me, as far as the bullet, the projectile is concerned. If I could get those to cycle in here, figure out a recipe, I might do that. But these, no issues. So these are 120 jacketed hollow points, but you're talking about 2,100 feet per second, right? So center fires, pretty much anything that's supersonic, right? You got these, what are these, Winchester XPs? Yeah, Winchester XPs. These are 150 grain, and these also hit about 2,000, I think. Let's see, it's 1,900 feet per second. And again, all these numbers I'm throwing out is traditionally out of a 16-inch barrel. You're putting that barrel in half here, and even with a suppressor on, you're not getting enough speed out of it. So what we ended up going with, and I showed this a second ago, is gosh, I forgot. Pablo would know everything, all the details. Pablo, if you're watching this one, you need to come over here and talk about this load, because in a nutshell, it is a 220 grain bullet, and he hand loaded these basically for me. So these, out of his 16-inch barrel, do go supersonic. You know, you'll hear that pop, you'll hear the crack. Once you put them into an 8.5, they're subsonic. So this actually is about as loud as that BB gun that I just showed you with this load set. So this is my hog setup. I mean, I love using this thing. It's fun to use. Sometimes I just go to the range and just start clinking just because it's fun. I have been asked before by someone that doesn't know a lot about firearms, it's like, isn't an AR-15 considered an assault rifle, not a hunting rifle? I'm like, no, there's no such thing as an assault rifle. Any rifle can be used for assault, is basically what it comes down to, right? Assault rifle is a term that has been made up by the media to scare people. Basically, this is the perfect sporting rifle, which is what it's considered. And for hogs, it's perfect. Semi-auto, 20 rounds. You can throw a 20, 30 round mag in there and just take those hogs down, right? So why do you want to take hogs down in Texas? Well, they are an invasive species. They rip up crops, they rip up fields. They're just a nuisance, basically. They don't belong here. So you want to take out as many as possible. Now, me, typically, because my property is so small, we don't have a field, at least we don't have a field on my side. I can usually only take out one, maybe two at a time if I'm quick enough as far as getting on them. I have not had the opportunity to take out more than two. I can do more than two with this if I had the space for it. So we've got some friends that have some fields that might be doing some predator control and hog control pretty soon. I'll be taking this out with me because it is very effective between 50 to 100 yards. So let me know what you think. Like I say, PSA Pro 2A Tactical AR-15 build with the Nomad on the front and either my night vision thermal or my red dot on there. So that's what I use. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm back at the ranch. And hopefully I'll have another tabletop review for you. If you like this one, give me that thumbs up, subscribe, leave some comments below, and share with anybody that might be interested in this specific setup. Thanks again.